NFL news and rumors coming at you here on NFL Daily by Chat Sports. Make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss anything around the National Football League. Tom, let's get right into this juicy rumor. Unfortunately, Odell Beckham Jr. tore his ACL. He is done for the season. But I was watching ESPN, and Max Kellerman was like, is his career over?
No. I don't know what ESPN is really guilty of this, specifically with the Cleveland Browns.
Sure.
Of taking a fairly normal storyline and just whipping it out of control.
But Tom, he wasn't as good after the ankle injury.
They were like, bench Baker Mayfield. I'm like, you're saying Sam Darnold's the future of the Jets and Baker's been better than Darnold, and now you're like, well, Baker's year's over, his career's over. Torn ACL. Yes, it sucks. Don't get me wrong.
Absolutely.
Maybe he loses a little bit of juice. But are we going to pretend that Odell Beckham's never going to play in the NFL again? Come on, guys. Let's be reasonable here. And look, that ankle injury in 2017,
it hurt him.
He never quite hit that same level of those first 3 years with the Giants.
But not many people
did. And you know what?
Exactly.
Yes, and his quarterback play has regressed significantly.
Absolutely.
So, look, if you're worried about Odell Beckham, I get that. I do. But his career's not over. There's no way his career's over.
We wanted to talk about it because we saw a lot of people asking us also on Twitter. And if you guys ever want to hit us up on Twitter, we are at Chat Sports. We'd love to talk about that stuff. So is OBJ's career over?
No.
Y for yes, N for no.
I better see nothing but
Tom and I are both going to type that N for no. But I will say I think he is going to take another step back. But OBJ is still an elite receiver. So for him to take a little bit of a step back, he's still going to be very good at football. Kind of talking about this same realm, could you see a receiver like Adam Thielen get dealt to Cleveland?
This is an interesting idea. Great note there that Kevin Stefanski, the now Browns head coach, was the offensive coordinator in Minnesota.
Correct.
Minnesota's clearly in the midst of I don't know if it's a full-fledged fire sale, but they are listening to trade offers.
Yes,
now, I think with Thielen, again, Minnesota, all these other teams we're going to discuss later on this week, they have to be aware of, okay, what type of rebuilding phase are we entering? Is this a strip it down to the studs? Because Minnesota thought this year, oh, yeah, we're going to compete. And then they're like, oops, we messed up. That's why they traded for Yannick and then dealt him again. I don't think they trade Thielen, but even though Cleveland loves to utilize 2 tight end sets, I'd explore a trade. I'd call Houston if I were Cleveland.
It's pretty
Several receivers could be had for not that much money, but Thielen idea is interesting because of the connection to the head coach.
I just don't see it happening. I'm going to type Mike K for keep because you also invested a lot of money for whatever reason, again, into Kirk Cousins, and Thielen is by far the number 1 option for Cousins. As a Thielen owner, I actually want him to stay in Minnesota personally. But let us know what y'all are thinking. Seeing a lot of teas, though, for trade. I don't blame you for at least thinking it. If I was Thielen, I'd want to go to a winning team. I'll make you guys a deal, though. If Adam Thielen is traded, we're going to make a video about it. We're also going to be live for the NFL trade deadline. So if you always find yourself looking for the latest NFL news and rumors, I don't know, maybe you go on Google or you type into YouTube, NFL. Guess what? Just subscribe here, and that way you don't miss anything. Tom and I, Harrison, we got the whole team together. We make sure that you guys are always covered, basically releasing a new video every single 3 hours. So make sure you go ahead and click that big red button that says subscribe. Let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys, and Tom's already starting to sweat. Is it time for them to trade for a quarterback? CBS definitely thinks so. Obviously, they lost Dak Prescott for the year. Andy Dalton was literally knocked out of Week 7 with a concussion, which was a super dirty hit by John Bostic. I don't care what anyone says. So then they start throwing out some quarterback ideas here, and here we go, Tom. Should the Cowboys go out and trade for Tyrod Taylor?
You're really going to make me do this?
I am 100% going to make you do
Jimmy,
this.
go get me a beer if I'm going to have to do this crap. or you, Sam, since you just walked in. Go get me a beer.
So, obviously, if I was Tyrod Taylor, I would want out of L.A. for the simple fact of everything that's happened there.
Yeah.
But maybe, and CBS kind of goes to this, if you can't throw the football, maybe get a mobile quarterback in there and run it a little bit more.
Good thing that offensive line has been great at run blocking this year. Again, what is the end goal of trading for a quarterback?
Because if you get a quarterback, you're the best team in the NFC East. That's the goal here of this
are
article.
You?
That's the goal of the article.
They scored 3 points against Washington.
Yeah.
It ain't just the quarterback. Thank you, Sam.
All right, well, if that one doesn't make you smile, this one made me chuckle out loud.
It's even
the
dumber.
reason why that they should go out and get A.J. McCarron, because then you could have Andy Dalton teach A.J., who, by the way, was underneath Dalton for Cincinnati. This one makes me laugh.
Hey, guys, the quarterback's the problem, per CBS. Let's trade for the worst quarterback that couldn't beat out the current starter. Like, what are we doing here? Come on, guys.
Dolphin fans, what's going on? Should the Cowboys go out and trade for Ryan Fitzpatrick? CBS Sports definitely thinks so. Obviously, there's a lot of news around Dallas all the time, but specifically with the quarterback situation. Dak Prescott, obviously out for the season. This past week, Andy Dalton knocked out of the game. So what CBS did, they're like, okay, let's look at some quarterbacks that they could go out and get. The choice that they said is obvious is Ryan Fitzpatrick.
It's not obvious. Now, we'll talk about both the Dolphins and the Cowboys side here, I promise you guys. I want to focus in on the Cowboys side in particular, because if you're trading away a quarterback, you want to get something good.
Correct.
And this is not the first time we've seen Fitzpatrick in Dallas mentioned.
Absolutely.
Because I guess the people who are like, Cowboys, best team in the NFC is with Fitzpatrick, they're the exact same people who were saying, oh, the Cowboys could win with any quarterback. And now it's like, oh, they just need a better quarterback to win games. They weren't a good football team. Now, do I think Fitzpatrick is a better quarterback than Andy Dalton?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm totally I'm totally on board with that. But this was the trade offer from CBS, and I've seen as high as a third rounder in 2021 from NJ.com. Makes no sense. Cowboys get Fitzpatrick. Dolphins get a 2025th rounder, which is really a sixth-round pick because you're doing it a full year in the future. I think both teams say no.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think this makes sense for either side, Mitch.
If I can't believe a 2022nd fifth-round pick is all Fitzmagic would bring in for this year. I mean, if I'm Miami,
it's
like
1 year of him though.
Yeah, but still, like, you could do better, in my opinion, if you're Miami. Sure, like, they don't really need draft picks. I guess every team does kind of need picks, but this, in my opinion, is a very, very dumb idea by CBS. Like, I don't see why you're even throwing around a 2022nd. Come on, guys. Let's be real here. So should the Dolphins end up trading Ryan Fitzpatrick? The reason also we're talking about this is because right before the bye week, Miami was like, you know what? It's Tua time. They're going to end up starting the rookie. Fitz was obviously very upset. He had multiple quotes saying that, I thought this was my team, which, I mean, you kind of knew that this was going to happen, and I think the whole plan all along was for them to make this move during the bye week, and I totally get Fitz being upset. You're basically right here in the playoff hunt, and now you're sitting here wondering, am I going to get another opportunity to play? If I'm Fitz, though, I would love to go to Dallas.
Maybe, but also if you're Miami, you're thinking about this. Okay, Tua is a first-time starter, history of injuries. You want him there as a veteran presence for your young quarterback, which Fitzpatrick knew was going to be the plan overall. If you're Miami, you trade away Fitz, your next quarterback is someone named Reed Sinnett. I don't know who that is.
They're just
so
Miami.
if Tua gets hurt, you're screwed.
Oh, big time.
So there's no reason for Miami, who is
Josh
much
Rosen.
closer to contending right now than the Cowboys are, to trade away Fitzpatrick. Especially for a future fifth rounder. That's going to be in the mid to late hundreds.
I mean,
there's no reason for it.
Fitz is obviously an upgrade, and I'm also just realizing that if you put Andy Dalton and Ben DiNucci together, it looks a lot like Gilbert here. Bottom line is, though, I mean, you're trying to get back into contention, and after this week,
but you shouldn't be.
I mean, this is
you're not good enough.
This is an overreaction Monday type of article. I mean, let's be real. That's what CBS did here. We wanted to talk about it. We got asked about it. It would make no sense, I think, for either side to end up going out and making this deal. What does make a lot of sense is supporting our servicemen out there. We appreciate everyone out there. And if you want to get some new merchandise, we got you hooked up here. We got hats, long sleeve T-shirts, and some of this gear is up to 50% off. So all you got to do in order to get this, go to chatsports.com/salute. So the NFL just released a whole bunch of salute to service gear, and we just want to be able to just tell y'all, hey, we appreciate you. Also, some of the proceeds go to Salute to Service. So, again, chatsports.com/salute. All 32 teams. That Jared Goff jersey that you just saw, I believe the last time I saw it,
they got jerseys too, man.
It was like $49.99. They are on sale. Like the stuff that's up to 50% off a lot of times is the jerseys. If you like camouflage stuff, go ahead. The link is available for you in the chat. It's also available for you in the description. Let's talk more about some trades, Tom. Carlos Dunlap is not a happy camper. And you know what? He wants out of Cincinnati so bad that he put up his house
on
for
Twitter.
Sale.
He also leaked the defensive end rotations for the Bengals on Instagram.
Wow.
Like, he's going through the AB playbook of, okay, how the hell do I get out of here? And I get it on some level because he's been a great player for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yep.
He played 12 snaps against the Cleveland Browns. That is not a typo, folks. 12 snaps is all that Carlos Dunlap got on the field.
It's a joke.
Against the Cleveland Browns in a game, of course, in which the Browns were behind for a pretty good portion and were desperately trying to get back. To add some more insight here, here's some of the ends that the Bengals played more. They played Carl Lawson more. They played Amani Bledsoe more. If your answer is, wait, who the hell is Amani Bledsoe? They also played Marcus Hunt more, who they literally just signed. They're bringing dudes in off the street to play more than Carlos Dunlap.
It makes no sense.
Come on, man.
I mean, even if
Trade
let's
him.
just say like you don't want to play him, you still play him to at least keep up his trade value.
And his value has plummeted over the past 5 games, but you got to trade him. Put
yeah.
him on the block. Take the best offer that you can.
So here's some potential trade destinations for Dunlap. The Seattle Seahawks, this is a team where they are in full buy now mode, and they're just trying to get guys. Great fit. The Las Vegas Raiders, John Gruden, the last 2 days has talked about trying to go out and get a player. The 49ers with all their injuries. The Tennessee Titans, they just lost Clowney. I know he got banged up. And then the Indianapolis Colts, another team looking for some edge rushers there. Carlos Dunlap would love to go to any of these 5 teams. Heck, probably just about anyone that's not named the Cincinnati Bengals. So who's going to end up trading for Dunlap? Let us know down in the comments section. Tom, I'm going to put you on the spot. You were from Cincinnati. You grew up a Bungle fan, or kind of.
You can't say bungle, and I can say bungle.
I can say
That's
it.
my word.
They've been bungling this entire season, basically my entire life. Where is Carlos Dunlap going to end up going?
I think Seattle makes the most sense for him because the value is not going to be that expensive for a team light on draft capital.
Okay.
I know there's the connection there with the Raiders. Paul Gunther, I wouldn't mind that fit. I think Seattle could really, really use
Kevin
it.
Otto says Seattle. Big Daddy says the 49ers. And Lil Minnie says the Tennessee Titans. As you can see, a lot of different options. Do we already have some AB drama? Well, kind of, but this one's actually not really from Antonio Brown. It's from Bruce Arians, and this is a pretty interesting story. He said that, it wasn't Tom Brady that ended up one of them, but if we rewind a little bit here, we remember that Bruce Arians a few months ago said, we don't want
Bruce Arians, and I quote, it's not going to happen. Bruce Arians now. It's a great how it started, how's it going meme here for AB and the Bucks. Now, there was the report out there that Tom Brady pushed hard to get Antonio Brown, which I very much buy.
Oh, absolutely.
Because he did it in New England,
absolutely.
and he likes Antonio Brown. Bruce Arians came out and said this after the game. Everybody wants to say that Tom picked him. Tom didn't have anything to do with it. This was something Jason, like the Bucks GM, and I had been just talking about for a couple weeks ever since the injuries to our other guys. If Antonio Brown does what I think he's going to do, I think he's going to be fine. Mitch, I smell cap. That BS right here, baby. Cap.
What the heck is that?
You don't know what no cap is?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about. I must not be hip with the times.
Mitch, you nerd.
No cap?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It basically means no BS.
No BS.
Yeah, cap is BS.
Well, right? I have no idea what we're talking about. So what we want you to do is let us know what the Bucks' final record is going to be. They're currently 5-2. Dylan's yelling at me. If you guys want to yell at me too, I'm sorry. I guess I'm not hip with the times. Let us know in the comments section what the Buccaneers' final record is going to end up being. Speaking of the Bucks, let's kind of go to the quarterback now, Cam Newton of the Patriots. And if I'm New England, I got to be really upset to see what Tom Brady and that team's been doing on offense. And then I got to watch what Cam Newton has been doing recently. Since COVID.
He's been bad.
It's been really bad. And he ended up getting benched this past week against the 49ers.
It was a blowout. They put in Stidham for a little bit.
Sure, but, I mean, you can't honestly sit here and say that he played well. And Newton,
no, of course not.
Newton even said it himself. You keep playing games like that, bro, it's going to be a permanent change. That's something he said after the game. 9 of 15, 98 yards, 3 picks.
What's still better than Jarrett Stidham's stats this year?
That's the other thing now.
Stidham's completing under 48% of his passes for 124 yards, 1 TD, and 3 interceptions. He's not a good football player. He's not. He's simply not. So, look, Newton's in a bit of trouble here. The Patriots, with all the defensive losses, you and I went back and forth of, they're tanking. Yep. They're going to be fine. They lost all these defensive players to COVID, and it's just not been great for them. So, Newton's kind of light on time here for the rest. This doesn't just mean for the Patriots.
Yep.
His career's on the line. He might have to go be a backup after this year unless he can get things going.
Let's go to another story here. Christian McCaffrey, some good news. He was able to return to practice today. However, there is still a report that he's likely. He's
a long shot.
He's a long shot to play on Thursday Night Football. So he hasn't played since week 2. He's been battling that high ankle sprain. The initial report was he was going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. If I'm Carolina, sure you're coming off a tough loss to New Orleans, but I mean Mike Davis, He's been great
you should keep the better back out there than Mike Davis.
Get out of here. We're done.
I'm not really serious there.
But he's been very good.
He's been great.
And it does make me
wonder.
wonder.
Why you don't pay back?
It does make me wonder a little bit. I'm not saying Christian McCaffrey's not great, but when you look at the numbers that Davis has put up, you kind of have to wonder yourself, maybe Christian McCaffrey is getting just a little bit overpaid.